And I am now joined by Hal Marcus, who's Director of Product Marketing for OpenText Discovery Unit. Hal, good to have you here.
Thanks, good to be here, Tony.
Yeah, how's everything going for you today?
Great, there's a ton of people, a ton of information, a ton of products, and we're coming at it from the legal standpoint to a large degree with OpenText Discovery. Legal is unique in that it touches on everything else.
That's right. So we've heard about how actually people like the CFO and CIO tend to see all parts of an organization. You're saying legal has a similar insight, I guess.
Exactly. Legal, every department, anyone that's handling information, there's legal implications to that.
Yep.
The legal departments quite often are not really as involved or communicating as effectively as they could with all the rest of those departments and vice versa.
Okay.
Legal tends to be the place in corporations that people think of as, I've got to go to them to get a blessing, and quite often I won't get it, so maybe I won't even go to them. Or they come in reactively, exactly. When something goes wrong, that's when they step in. I was a litigator, in a previous life, and that's where I'd step in when a problem occurred. We'd step in after the fact. But those walls are coming down. Those lines are blurring, and we're actually trying to, expedite that process.
Okay, so would you say that's the biggest opportunity for the people you're talking to, that this is an untapped way of them taking their business forward, or do you see an even bigger picture than that?
Yeah, a key focus for us is facilitating the communication between legal's interest in information and all the information managers and what they're trying to achieve with information. The idea that we can really get all these folks talking the same language. And I think we'll find that, the attorneys need access to the information for fact finding, for regulatory response, for dealing with large-scale litigation, but they can also be proactive in working with the information managers in more effective ways. And the organizations that are getting those aligned better are thriving in the age of digital transformation.
Yeah, so that phrase, digital transformation, good phrase, bad phrase, overhyped?
I'm coming from the legal industry. Anything that talks about transformation, we have to look at cynically, because I've been doing this long enough that I know that legal doesn't change quickly. So from the narrow prism of how does it affect the legal departments, my first inclination is that it's a bit overhyped. But over a long period of time, we see it, and as the corporations, the enterprises are going through those kinds of transformations, and we've heard some of those stories here already, legal has to play a role in that. Legal has to get aligned with that. So that's one of the interesting aspects of it from my perspective.
And we were talking before the cameras were rolling about one aspect of transformation like that is when you've literally got rooms full of paper-based documents which have to be converted, and then you can work with them and do things. But you're saying that's becoming rare now.
Because that transformation has kind of already occurred for the most part. When I was practicing, it was rooms full of documents and very, very tedious linear document review. What we facilitate now, and this is not unique, but what we facilitate now is leveraging all the different kinds of analytics that are available for the electronic data that is mostly now what you're ingesting when it's time to do legal investigations and discovery, and giving you all the tools you need to get to those facts a lot faster. The first big wave of transformation, it took a while because of this industry, but the first big wave that we saw was getting away from this tedious linear review to just faster review. It was just making that a quicker process because there was huge money associated with that. 70% of the cost of litigation in the US goes to discovery. And about 70% of that cost of discovery goes to review. So if you can make that review happen way faster, you're having a huge impact. Our technology can eliminate that review by about 70%.
So it's a huge saving right there.
Yeah, so that was the first big driver. The second driver that we're now seeing sort of take prominence is it's not just about responsiveness on large-scale litigation and keeping our costs low and getting through it faster. It's about getting to the facts that matter even earlier in the process, because if we can interrogate the data that's held within all these silos and get it, where we need it, and get the attorneys to be able to find the risk and understand if the whistleblower that has, brought attention to the risk, actually it's unfounded. There's really no evidence here to support that there's any big concern. If they can get those answers faster, they can often avoid these situations that lead to these high costs altogether. So it's about bringing those analytics earlier and earlier into the process and empowering them to be fact finders.
So big changes. How about some changes over the next 5 years? What would your predictions be?
We've just come from actually a meeting with a lot of our best customers that are here to plan this out and get their feedback.
Yeah,
and what we're hearing from them is really strong validation of the idea of, yes, make it easier to get larger volumes of data looked at with all the analytics earlier in the process. Right now, you can take advantage of a wide range of great unstructured data analytics that we have and predictive coding, which surfaces more of the relevant content based on what you've already found. Make that kind of stuff available earlier in the process so that we can apply it to a broader range of data in a broader range of scenarios. And that's what we're heavily focused on.
Wonderful stuff. Hal, good talking to you. Thanks for coming. Thank you.
Thanks very much.